Hi guys, welcome to Hoops Junction. Derrick Rose was asked earlier, a couple months ago, when signing with the Knicks with the trade, does he consider the New York Knicks super team? So he answered yes. This was like a couple months ago. Said yes. They asked him the same question again, and he still thinks that the New York Knicks are a super team. My answer to that is no, you're not a super team. I don't think a team can call themselves a super team until they actually get on the court and do what they have to do, or we have seen some kind of track record of those players by themselves being successful, and then them coming together would just automatically mean success. Like for example, LeBron James was already successful in Cleveland. He went to NBA Finals. They went to a bunch of Eastern Conference Finals. Played well. Dwayne Wade was already successful in Miami. Played extremely well in Miami. Won NBA championship. Blase blah. Chris Bosh was successful with the Raptors. They made it to the playoffs, etc., etc. And all of those guys were in their prime. Derrick Rose going to the New York Knicks with an aging Carmelo Anthony, an aging Joakim Noah, and himself, which is aging, because you got to understand that all the injuries have aged him quite a bit. And Melo was injured a couple of seasons ago, or last season, and Noah was injured last season. So that being said, they're not in their prime. They haven't showed that they've been extremely successful. Like Derrick Rose, the best thing he's done, which I gotta give him credit for, he won the MVP. He deserved to win the MVP. He had a great season that season. But other than that, never made it to a finals. Melo has never made it to a finals. He's made it to one Western Conference final. That's about it. And Noah, same thing. So that being said, you can't consider this team a super team. I think this is a solid team. I think this is what New York needs. I think Phil Jackson hit the nail right on the head. The issue with the New York Knicks has always been this. They always want to bring in the high price guy, the guy that fills up the seats, the guy that can put on a show. You know what I'm saying? Like, even back in the day, like, and I'm not, no disrespect to Bernard King, but I'm just saying, like, even back in the day, the Knicks always had that mentality that we got to bring in a guy that's high scoring, high octane, so we can fill these seats. Like, winning championships weren't on the top of their list for like a long time, and then they got Patrick Ewing, and you know, they tried to make a run at it, but you know, they fell short. Before that, they had the See, this is how flashy New York is. They had the Rolls Royce backcourt. You know what I'm saying? They had Walt Clyde Frazier and Earl the Pearl Monroe. So that's how it's always been about flash and flair. Like, we'll win championships when we can. But back then, they had, you know, Bradley. They had dirty work players. Dave DeBusschere, that brought grittiness and toughness, which brought the essence of a team. These most recent Knicks teams have been about all flash and flair. And when they finally got a nucleus of great players, they had Gallinari, Wilson Chandler. They traded them all for Melo because once again they have to bring in that star, that guy to fill the seats, and that makes sense in one regard, but it doesn't in another. So now you have Melo, you have Rose, and you have Noah. That's a great team. That's not a super team because Melo by himself is not carrying teams like how he hasn't reached his full potential, because he's the kind of player, he's not a Swiss Army knife. He has like one skill set, which he's 100%. Like scoring, that's his niche, and then rebounding is another good thing that he does. But defensively and facilitating, that's not his game. Derrick Rose, he has a niche in driving the basketball and making explosive plays, but in terms of like being a high assist man, that's not his game. Like, he's not an all-around. So they don't have like the tangibles for a super team. A super team like the Los Angeles Lakers from the 80s, the Showtime Lakers, the Chicago Bulls. They have one guy that's your star. Then you have another guy that's your scorer or finisher. Then you got another guy that's your wild card that could get you whatever you need. Showtime Lakers, Kareem was the scorer. The star was Magic. The guy that got you different things was James Worthy. Chicago Bulls, Michael was your star. Scotty was your like, I guess, sub-star, or your B player, your second option. Dennis Rodman was your wild card, your wild factor. You know, you never know what he's gonna give you. He's gonna give you something good though. You know, Miami Heat, LeBron was the star. Dwayne Wade was like the, I guess you call him Batman. I mean Robin to LeBron's Batman. So LeBron was Batman, Wade was Robin. And then you had Chris Bosh, which is your wild card. You get you what you need. You know, he gets you a key rebound, throws it to Ray Allen. The Knicks don't have that. The Knicks, we know Melo is a star, but we don't know what's gonna be with Derrick Rose. And Joakim Noah is not a wild card factor kind of player because he doesn't score like that. And he's a good passer and a good defender, but that's it. Like, you know, so he's limited in that aspect. So they're not a super team. They're a good team, and we're still seeing how Kristaps Porzingis is going to develop. I think though, the New York Knicks have the potential to go to the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm not even joking. I'm not even playing. They're not a super team, but I feel like if everybody remains healthy and Carmelo can put more emphasis on his defense and Derrick Rose can stop jump passing all the time and turn the ball over like that, I think they can make it to Eastern Conference Finals because no other team has a point guard that can contain a Derrick Rose besides the Cleveland Cavaliers and Kyrie Irving. No point guard in the NBA can guard another point guard in the NBA. Like, it's ridiculous how good these guys have gotten. Like, you have Kyrie, Damian Lillard, Stephen Curry. Any given night, these guys can give you 50 on one another, and it's happened. You know what I'm saying? So, that being said, they're not a super team. They're a solid team. Derrick Rose needs to let go of that whole notion. Like, get that out of his head. You're not a super team. You're a good team. And you shouldn't want to be a super team. You should aspire to be a great team. Not a super team, a great team. Because great teams win championships. A lot of times, super teams don't win anything. You know, the Lakers, my Lakers, we had Karl Malone, Gary Payton. And Karl did get hurt, but we didn't win anything. See what I'm saying? And the Rockets had Clyde Drexler, Charles Barkley, and I think they had Hakeem. They didn't win anything. So when you have a bunch of aging players or players that have been injured and then you bring them together or past their prime, that's not a super team anymore. That you can't consider that because there's too many other outside factors such as age, injury, and just being in your prime. You know, Melo is not in his prime. When Melo was in his prime, that's when Kobe was in his prime, and Kobe was like, I'm not having it. So, you know what I'm saying? Kobe, you saw those games when they played Denver, how Melo used to give the Lakers problems. He's a problem, but he's not a problem like those days. Same thing with Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose was a problems MVP here, but ever since that, he's been having problems with his knees. Same thing with Noah. Noah's role got changed since in Chicago. He got injured a couple times, and he hasn't been kind of the same player since. But this year, they have a potential chance to make it to Eastern Conference Finals. I'm saying it right here, right now. I know it sounds crazy to you guys, but this is the first time that Carmelo Anthony does not have to rebound. It's the first time that Carmelo Anthony does not have to facilitate. And this is the first time Carmelo Anthony does not have to necessarily defend always at a high level since Denver days with Chauncey Billups. Because he has, Derrick Rose is like equivalent to Chauncey Billups. Kristaps Porzingis is like equivalent to a Kenyon Martin, but that can shoot jumpers. Joakim Noah is equivalent to a great big man that, you know. So everything that Melo needs, he has it. So there's no excuse for them not to make it go far and deep in the playoffs, unless it's injury. Other than that, no excuse. I feel like they got all the right pieces, and they got a Courtney Lee, they got a shooter, which replaces a J.R. Smith from back in Denver days. So back in those days when he had everything that he needed, he went to the Western Conference Finals. I expect him to go to the Eastern Conference Finals. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you really think the Knicks are a super team. This is Vlad from Hoops Junction, where Hoops meets Hoopla. Peace.